In this video, I'm going to show you how to make geometric animal star constellations. To get started, I'm going to spritz some paper with a water bottle. I am using the Square1Art paper, which is not the best paper for using liquid watercolor, but it's what we're going to be using in my classroom for this project. Also, I'm using a variety of colors, liquid watercolors. I'm using Blick's version of magenta, blue, turquoise, and black. So as you can see, just using a brush to gently apply some color in some different areas, kind of testing out how well it bleeds. And as you can see, this does not bleed as well as I had hoped, but it's still going to work out well. I tell my students to always work from the lightest color to the darkest color. So if they are using a magenta, that would be used first, and blending in that darker blue over the magenta is going to give it a more violet purple color. We're going to save black for last. In watching other artists who make a very similar galaxy background using watercolor, they do suggest, and I would too, that you do 2 layers of watercolor. After this first layer is done, allow it to dry completely, and then go back over again using the same colors and the same pattern just to make the colors deeper and more intense. However, for the sake of time this year with my students, we will not have the time to get that second layer done. So we are only going to work on 1 layer for this example and for this project this year. While my background is drying, I'm going to choose an image. I found these geometric animals online. Make sure you choose a royalty-free unless you're going to pay for a download. I am using a white color stick to add a layer of white to the back. That will be an easy transfer. I found these white color pencil sticks to be a lot easier and look better than using white oil pastels. Using a colored ballpoint pen, obviously colored so that I can make sure that I have covered up the black printed lines. I am going to line up the image where I want it in the center. Make sure that you have definitely got a good layer of white on the back. And now I'm just going to trace over all of the black lines using that red ballpoint pen. Did a quick test to make sure that I can see it. And now I'm going to trace over every line that I want to transfer onto my galaxy background. All right, so finishing up the tracing, just double check that I got all those black lines covered so I didn't miss anything. And as you can see, it has a great transfer. All right, so next I'm going to use a white gel pen and take that pencil and just make it a little bit brighter. Wherever there is a connection, wherever there's a point or an intersection, I'm going to make a dot with these gel pens to show the constellation stars. If you don't have a white gel pen, you could always use a white paint pen. Just be careful, as that white paint pen will smear much easier than the gel. The next step is to connect all the stars. I am using a ruler, and then after saying, you know what, that's not too hard, I think I can do this without a ruler, totally up to you. Just make sure that your lines go from star to star, much like a connect the dot page that we would have done when we were young. So this is fun. This is our fun part of this project. You get to actually see the image kind of come to life as you connect the dots using that pen. This next step is not necessary. I chose to do this because I have access to a variety of white paint pens in my classroom, and I think this is going to make the stars just pop even better. I am using a thin white acrylic paint pen, and I'm going to be gently putting the paint over each star just to make them a little bit brighter and stand out a little bit more. Finally, if you want to add emphasis to the eyes of your animal, you can do that. Some students wanted their eyes to kind of glow, so I did that in my example. I'm also just going to put a variety of stars around my animal constellation just to add that effect for a more complete background. The final step to this project is adding a black background. I'm using Crayola tempera paint. You can use any kind of black paint that you choose. Also, I'm using a foam brush, but any sponge or anything that's soft and foamy or spongy will work well. I'm just going to very carefully dab that black paint around the edges and form a blackened frame that's going to really make my constellation in the center be the focal point, and also just bring unity to the entire project. Once that frame is completed, you can always go back with your white gel pen or a white paint marker and add any other stars that you would like. I also have my students use the white to sign their name on the inside of that black frame. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed.